Beau Biden was the son of Joe Biden, who's our vice president, of course, and he passed away over the weekend. He had brain cancer. First of all, Beau was accomplished in his own right. He's 46 years old, just a little older than I am. He served as Attorney General of Delaware from 2007 till earlier this year. He served in Delaware Army National Guard, where he went to war for this country, and he earned a Bronze Star. Let's pause on that for a second, because there's so many chicken hawks in the political class who send other people's kids to war, and then they don't go themselves. Beau went. So he talked the talk, he walked the walk, and he was a rising star. He was likely to run for governor in 2016. But another important point about Beau here, he could have easily run for his dad's Senate seat in Delaware. He probably would have won it in a landslide. He chose not to do that. He wanted to earn his own stripes. That's why he went and ran for Attorney General and worked his way up. Unfortunately, that work was cut short by this tragic illness that he developed. So as he passed away, Joe Biden's office had this statement. They said, "The entire Biden family is saddened beyond words. We know that Beau's spirit will live on in all of us, especially through his brave wife, Haley, and two remarkable children, Natalie and Hunter." Now, look, I'm a parent, so this one's hard on me, especially because Joe Biden has suffered tragedy before. His first wife, back in 1972, was killed in a car accident, along with his baby daughter, Naomi. And Joe Biden's talked about that in the past. He did that in the context back in 2012 of talking to members of the military who had lost family members. So perhaps they lost a husband or a wife in Iraq or Afghanistan. And that's the crowd he was talking to back here a couple of years ago. And I'm going to play you clips from that. This is the most real speech I've ever seen a politician give. It was not for the cameras, as far as I can tell, and look, that's my job, to sniff out that if it's fake. This was not fake, and it was moving. Now, he's talking about how his former wife and daughter had died. At this point, Beau Biden, his son, had not died, obviously. Let's watch parts of that speech.
I got a phone call like you guys got, saying that my family had been in an accident. And just like you guys know, by the tone of the phone call, you just knew, didn't you? You knew when they walked up the path. You knew when the call came. You knew. You just felt it in your bones. Something bad happened. And I knew. I don't know how I knew. But the call said my wife was dead, my daughter was dead, and I wasn't sure how my sons were going to make it. They're Christmas shopping and a tractor trailer broadsided them in one instant.
Beau was one of the kids that had survived that accident. More from the vice president in that speech.
For the first time in my life, I understood how someone could consciously decide to commit suicide. Not because they were deranged, not because they were nuts, because they'd been to the top of the mountain, and they just knew in their heart they'd never get there again, that there was never going to be that way ever again. That's how an awful lot of you feel.
That is absolutely crazy for a politician to say. And he said, look, I know the press is in the room, and I don't know if they're going to get on me for this. But he said it anyway, because he was talking to them from the heart. This was at a tragedy assistance program for survivors. It's called TAPS. It was in Arlington, Virginia, where he was talking to these family members who had survived. And he said, boy, do I feel your pain. In other parts of the speech, he talked about, people would come up to him and they meant well, and they'd say, I know how you feel. And he thought, no, you don't. But Vice President Biden, in his own way, clearly knows how those folks in that room felt. He talked a little bit more about his personal experience.
I don't know about you guys, but I was angry. Man, I was angry. You all probably handle it better than I did. I really mean it. I was angry. But I was mad at God. Oh, man. I remember being in the rotunda, walking through to get to the plane, to get home, to get to identify the, anyway. And I remember looking up and saying, God. As if I was talking to God, myself. You can't be good. How can you be good?
It's a tough question to answer, but he did leave them with hope. This was a really important part of the message at the end, near the end of the speech.
There will come a day, I promise you, and you parents as well, when the thought of your son or daughter or your husband or wife brings a smile to your lips before it brings a tear to your eye. It will happen. My prayer for you is that day will come sooner or later. But the only thing I have more experience than you in is this. I'm telling you, it will come.
That's a great message, and one he's got to be telling himself today. We found pictures of Beau after the accident. I want to share that with you today. That's the vice president at that time getting sworn in as senator by Beau's hospital bed as he was recovering from the hospital, from the crash, I should say. And now he has passed as well. Our sincerest condolences to the Biden family. We hope they can make it through this with the same courage and bravery that they have in the past. Beau Biden was a very, very good man by every account of everyone who had ever met him, and he will be sorely missed.